Good, everyone. So, we're going to be talking about how you can see if two triangles are congruent. How can you determine if two triangles are congruent? And later, we'll be doing some practice problems, some two-column proofs. The first way we can tell if two triangles are congruent is something called the SSS property. So, if three sides of a triangle are congruent to the corresponding three sides of another triangle, those triangles are congruent. So let's say AC is 8, CB is 5, AB is 6. If DF is 8, FE is 5, and DE is 6, then those triangles are congruent. Another way we can prove this is a method called SAS, SAS. So when we have two sides, let's say two adjacent sides, let's say AC and CB, if those sides are congruent and the angle that they form is congruent to the other triangle, DFE, then those triangles are congruent. Another way we can prove this is by using ASA, angle sine angle. So if two angles, let's say angle A and angle C, if those two angles are congruent to D and F, and the included side, which is AC, the side that connects those two angles, is congruent to DF, well, we have two congruent triangles. Another way we can prove this is by using something called angle side. So this is kind of like, think of it as like a cousin to ASA. So if two angles and the non-included side of the triangle is congruent to two angles and the non-included side of another triangle, then those two triangles are congruent. So let's say we have angle A, which is 50, angle C, which is 60. Well, if we have those two angles, and let's say angle D is 50 and angle F is 60, well, we know that angle E of both of those triangles, it has to be 70 because the angles of a triangle have to add up to 180. So if we know two angles of one triangle and two angles of another triangle are congruent, then the third side must be congruent. So this is kind of like the same thing as ASA. Finally, we have the HL theorem. So if a leg of a right triangle and its hypotenuse is congruent to another leg of a right triangle and its hypotenuse, then those triangles are congruent. So let's say the hypotenuse is 5, and let's say one of its legs is 3. Well, because of the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is c squared, then we know that the last side has to be congruent. So this is pretty much pretty similar to the SSS property. It relies a lot on the SSS property or the SAS property. Yes, your favorite time of the video. It's time for the two column proofs. So, given that ABCD is a parallelogram, prove that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CDB. Okay? I'll give you a few moments. Feel free to pause the video. And I'm assuming y'all have paused the video. So, let's start out. Reasons, statements, and reasons, okay? Well, we always start out with our given statement. So, we're given that ABCD is a parallelogram. Now what? Well, what do we know about parallelograms? Opposite sides are congruent. So, AD is congruent to BC of the triangle, and AB is congruent to DC of the triangle. And our reason is opposite sides of parallelograms are congruent. But now what? Well, we have two ways of doing this. Well, we could say that opposite angles are congruent. So angle A is congruent to angle C because opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. But I'm gonna just do it this way. So we can say that they share both of these triangles share a common side, which is BD. So we know that all of their sides are congruent. So we can use the SSS postulate, and then we can say that these two triangles, we just proved that these two. And I hope y'all enjoy that video. And yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye.